Always a pleasure to have this man join us when he's coming to town. He'll be performing at Van Wezel on March the 26th in a salute to the stars of MGM, along with a great lineup of guest stars. And there's a brand new CD out called the Sinatra Project, which was nominated for a Grammy. A big welcome to the multi-talented Michael Feinstein, who joins me by telephone today. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm great, Doug. Thank you for having me.
Good to talk to you again, and congratulations first on the CD. I had a chance to hear a couple of cuts from it on your website, and I'm looking forward to getting a copy of it, but that's a great project to work on, huh?
Yes, it was a couple of years in the making. It took 2 days to record it with a big band. We did it live, but to come up with the concept was daunting, because I wanted to do a salute to Frank Sinatra, but I didn't want to just copy him because he did the songs definitively. So I came up with a whole scenario of doing the songs as if he would have sung them in different eras of his career, and then orchestrations that would reflect that. So it was a great labor of love.
You mentioned just now, and I read on your website about it, you did it like they did in the old days of Capitol, right, with the band right in the studio with you. Not too many records are made that way anymore, are there?
That's for sure. I actually did the record with just a couple of microphones, and everybody was all together in the same room, so it would have a sound of the acoustic overflow or blend from one instrument to another, which I think is one of the things that makes modern recordings sometimes sound a bit antiseptic.
Yeah, I think when you listen back to those great, particularly the Capitol recordings you did with Nelson Riddle, you kind of get the feeling of a live performance, which you don't always get when you mix tracks individually, right?
That's absolutely true. Yeah, it's a very different sensibility. And even if people don't intellectually recognize that there's something about it that you feel that just goes in the body differently.
How did you choose the songs? He has such a huge catalog. That must have been a challenge for you, just to pick the 10 or 15 songs you're going to do.
It was a tremendous challenge picking songs for the Sinatra Project, because Sinatra did I don't know how many thousands of recordings, and then the radio broadcasts and the TV shows. But I tried to do a cross-section of material that would reflect different aspects of who he was, and some cases, like with Begin the Begin, it's something he did in the 40s, but he never did in the 50s. As if he'd recorded it with Nelson Riddle in the style of I've Got You Under My Skin, and it just turned out great.
Yeah, you listen to some of his recordings in the 40s with Axel Stordahl, of course, with the Dorsey Band, and then that change he made, I guess it was around 1951, 52, somewhere in there, when Nelson Riddle came in. It really kind of changed his whole style after that, didn't it?
Absolutely. He was considered a great balladeer, and then with Nelson Riddle, they evolved a new style of swing that now is considered the benchstone. That's the way that everyone interprets the songs. So he literally changed the face of American popular music.
Did you ever have a chance to meet him, Michael, or work with him at all?
I did meet Frank Sinatra. I was playing a private party. I was hired to play a birthday party for his wife, Barbara. Just called out of the blue, much to my shock and joy. And there I was at Chase's restaurant, installed at a piano in the corner, and upright, and I was playing all these unusual songs, these sort of obscure songs I had sung, and he kept casting these glances at me, very perplexed looks. And finally, he came over to me after about an hour and said, "Jesus, how do you know all those songs? How old are you, 12? And then he invited me over to his house, and I used to go over for dinner, and he was great. He talked about his life and his career, and it was quite wonderful to me. So I wanted to repay him, because you hear a lot of different things about him, but as an artist, he was just the best.
I had a chance, about 6 months ago, Michael, Frank Sinatra Jr. came to town. I had a chance to talk to him and spent about a half an hour just, him telling great stories about his dad. And really, when you go back in history, I mean, nobody really captured America as far as American popular song like Sinatra,
I totally agree with that. And, Frank Jr. is a fantastic musician. He is one of the smartest musical minds I know. He is a walking encyclopedia of American popular song and beyond.
Really was a treat to talk to him, and this CD, I'm sure, is going to continue to do so well. Let's talk a little bit about the show coming up at Van Wezel. I like the lineup you have. Well, Robert Osborne, I understand, is going to be with you, of course, from Turner Classic Movies, right?
Yes, Robert Osborne, who is a guy who has chronicled this great era that we're celebrating. And of course, we have Arlene Dahl and Jane Powell and Jane Russell and Tony Martin, who's just turned 95, with whom I spent some time a couple weeks ago in L.A. And it's just remarkable. I mean, his joy of life and his ability to put over a song has made him a legend, and he's still doing it. It's just dazzling. I mean, I can't imagine that I'd even be lucky enough to live to 95, but to be 95 and to sing and have people clamoring for you, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I saw him. They did one of those pledge drives on PBS recently, and it was the music of that era, and he got up and sang There's No Tomorrow, and still sounded great. Like you said, 94 years old. That's amazing.
Yes, it is.
And, of course, you mentioned Jane Powell, who many people remember from, obviously, all the MGM films. I guess Royal Wedding, one of her favorites. I always thought she was kind of underrated. I mean, she was a great singer and great performer.
Yes, she was a great actress, and she was a great dancer, because in Royal Wedding, she does a number of great dances with Astaire, including a number called I Left My Hat in Haiti that's just delicious. And, of course, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and Hit the Deck, and introducing songs like It's the Most Unusual Day. I mean, she's gorgeous also. I mean, she's one of those stars who doesn't go in for any of the cosmetic, crazy plastic surgery stuff, and she has nothing against it, but she just happens to look great, and she still has this radiant face and this wonderful voice. So it's a great thrill to work with all of these people.
Well, it's going to be a great night, and you're kind of the host of it. I guess you'll kind of tell the stories like you do in your performances, which I think a lot of people don't realize. I mean, you really are musicologists in your own right, knowing the great stories behind the songs. So this is going to be interesting to actually see some of these stars perform the songs that they made famous back in those years.
Yes, it is. It's fun because they have a lot of stories to tell, and I think it's an affirmation for the audiences, for people that see them, that life is something that doesn't have to diminish at a certain age. I think that it really is about a state of mind and an appreciation, and it is the audiences and the people who appreciate the work of these stars that has kept them young.
You're going to be touring around the country for a while with this show, Michael, and the CD, or what's your plans coming up in the next few months?
Well, the CD has me playing all over the place. The Sinatra Project CD will have me with the Boston Pops and at the Hollywood Bowl and in Chicago at Ravinia, San Francisco, Seattle. Golly, I can't keep track of all the dates I'll be doing with the Sinatra Project album. I'm doing a gig in Indianapolis with the Symphony. And then the MGM show is one that we're doing in Florida, in a number of cities in Florida. And then we intend to take it to other places. But we thought we would start where we have friends and relatives.
That's right. Yeah, well, so you're one of the few people that are keeping this music alive, and we appreciate that, particularly on this program where we play a lot of American popular standards and big bands. And Michael, always great chance to catch up with you, and hope you'll come back next year. I'm sure you will, or we'll do it again.
Well, thank you very much, Doug. I appreciate you keeping the music alive and keeping it going, because it is out of love that we all do this. So it's nice to share the joy of it.
Michael Feinstein, our guest, and we'll be back in a minute.